reacted. So anyway, yeah, Mike and Dean, of course, episode 5, season 5, or episode 93 altogether, right? So live version here. But last week, of course, it completely weirded out. Yeah, like it zoomed in on this weird thing, in this weird 360 view, and I couldn't turn it off. It didn't help if I like changed the settings. I couldn't turn it off. Like it was weird. It was really strange because, like, even if I entered the YouTube settings, you have this button, right? It's blue then if it's pointing out. And this button, I couldn't press on it. Like the button wasn't responsive. Like it refused to go back, and I was like, what? But anyway, this looks fine. But it was strange too because I said one thing here before I start watching it. Even the local recording app. So when I'm live streaming, of course my computer is saving, the recording, right? So when I actually looked at the recording afterwards, that looked fine, right? So it's clear it's only on YouTube that I actually had the issue. So very strange thing. But anyway, so I watched this episode here. Given what's called the preview, I think it's gonna be about Bird, right? Bird Bros. And I mean, he's a pretty cool character. I will say, I feel that this arc right now is over since Shinso did his stuff. I feel like, isn't it about Shinso? Like the other characters, yeah, they have some new powers. Doesn't feel as interesting, I feel, giving like potentially a new class member. But anyway, let's start watching it. So 3, 2, 1, and go. And the recapping the versus. Nice. The more Sue's assets there. I just feel like the arc otherwise, it looked really good in fighting someone. And obviously Shinso's best boy, so it's awesome. But otherwise it's kinda like there's no stakes. Yeah, there's no stakes on it. Because last time they fought Class B, right? It was mostly, I think we were thinking about the tournament arc, I think. Yeah, opening. I think most people think about the tournament arc, right? And the tournament arc is like, there's a lot of stakes on it. If you're especially for Shinso, I guess, but he wasn't equal at them either. But I mean, anyway, yeah. If you would win, like, you get a better life threat, you get a career and so on. You can be picked up by scouts and so on. But here it's like, no one is watching these fights. No, they're all like, you're stretching out and they're gonna fight. And it feels like it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter that much, in my opinion, right? Who wins or loses here. Except, of course, for Shinso. Given that he can then join maybe A or B, right? Like, here in the opening, you see the best character, and he's like, yeah, I can finally also be a hero. So he is an actual journey, heroic journey here. But who cares about other characters? a little bit like that, yeah. It's like, yeah. There's a fight going on or something. I don't know, it might be an awesome episode. But I just think it's like that, from the story elements, right? Shinso has his story element. Yeah, he has an actual journey here. And the biggest, maybe not character development, but arguably character development mixed with powers. Yeah, like he has probably the biggest journey here. Here we go. Opening's over, yeah. He got owned, man. He didn't do anything. Yeah. At least someone is happy. Oh, look at me, guys! I did everything, yeah! I was like, okay. And she, of course, was very, like, thoughtful, and yeah, it's very... See, I'm gonna ship them now here, Sue and Shinso, right? Because he's all like, you did great! I like coming out, he's really happy. He was like, yes, Sensei, did you see? He's very proud of himself. I love that, man. But see, Shinso's like, I did wrong, I should have done better. So he has the most journey, right, to become like a hero here. Yeah, you got that extra. Oh, come on, we know she likes him. Come on, he's all like, oh my god, he's so annoying over there. What's wrong with him? Stop doing that. It's like, you stop being annoying. It's like, okay, we went to Shinso then. He's disciple here. Oh, he didn't talk to him. What? He didn't cover him. He's like, you four, and then it's like, you boy, I got to talk to you later. They got owned by that. That really owned him though. That really owned him, like an heir. How's the thing work? I hope he get a backstory. I was like, I hope he get a backstory. He's like, he explains how he mastered this, like, yeah, the clothes thing, right? I don't know. How do you fight with that thing? How do you control it? Yeah, and of course Vlad is disappointed in this. I mean, they were all like class B students, right? But think about it, they didn't mixture up the classes. Yeah, it was A versus B. Man, it's so annoying. Could be the most annoying cat in all anime. Yeah, and of course Deku is like, I got the strategy book here. Yeah, of course Deku is always ready. Man. I was thinking that Alien Queen is a huge assets. Yeah, that was like, they really extrapolated that. And of course Bakugo is like, what strategy? Teamwork? Shut up! Yeah, I don't need you three. I can solo this thing. Yeah, like, yeah. He's our teammate. Yeah, of course Bakugo was like, I don't want to be your teammate. Yeah, you don't suck. Yeah. I'm your leader, yeah. It's like, do what I want. It's like, yep. Bakugo got the strategy there, I feel. Just give me all responsibility. But look at that. It really, I feel, they worked on her, yeah, her assets this episode. And Midnight Sensei she's loving the youth, as always. It's to no surprise, there's a lot of like her and, yeah, I have said this feels at a slow pace though. Honestly, yeah. This is at a slow pace. Everyone's just talking. All the students are like, yeah, we're gonna fight or something, strategy. Because it's kinda like, at this moment here, right? It's not like really any deep discussions, right? It's just like, yeah, that's right. We should have some strategy. And then Bakugo was like, shut up, I don't want strategy. And yeah, you know. And now All Might is like, I love them all. They're all so good students. They're all growing, and it's my children. Yeah, but nothing really is happening here, right? Because they aren't actually saying anything meaningful. And I was like, yeah, that young boy. Yeah, that boy. New boy is good. Yeah, and I see. But All Might is about the most poster guy ever. It's almost like, do you like the new kid, All Might? Oh, I loved all the kids. Like, you know, yeah. Look at that. He's like, yeah, he got the annoying guy, but yeah, yo. Well, next fight finally, yeah. Here we go. Next versus fight. That felt slow paced. I mean, when All Might was like recapping, All Might did some flashback recapping there. That you can really feel how they're like, okay, let's like fill out this episode with some recap and some fillers and you know, like this kind of repeat filler. Yeah, like, oh yeah, remember last tournament arc for 1 minute? It's like, yeah, okay, thank you. This is probably better in a manga form. I haven't read the manga, but I assume the manga has less of All Might reminiscing over the previous seasons, right? Oh yeah, they used to work together, you know, with their fashion. Yeah, and they had to be fashion heroines. Very important. If you're a female hero, you have to make money, right? Somehow. It's like they're like, hey girl, yeah, Fortunately, she can't really be a fashion, girl, because she's like, no one can see me. I mean, I guess it's gonna be about the shadow guys. I mean, I think it's like, given the preview, it's like a bird episode, right? Then it's like, this guy got shadow powers too, so you can have some shadow fighting with each other. Here we go. See, now it's like shadow fight, right? Yeah, you get the shadow way. I got the shadow. Shadow rivalry. That guy looks like a bad guy. What have they paid Shinso for? That guy looks a typical. This is a narrative bad guy straight up here. Like, this is like, yeah, this is like accepted narrative. Completely face with the white silver hair, man. This guy's like. Yeah, so Epica starts now, right? Finally. Oh yeah, that's at the most. I kinda hope they win actually, Class B, because I feel sorry for them. They're always losing every time. Yeah, come on when I see them win for once, but that's also a very, energetic character. But this is what I mean. Yeah, you remember this? You remember the other season we had? It was like, yeah, I remember that season. I saw that episode too. Remember the tournament dog? Remember tournament dog, guys? Yeah, Kendo is badass though. She's probably one of the cooler characters of that class, right? But I remember Kendo-chan. She's a waifu character. I remember her. I'm not like surprised that Kendo-chan is like, yeah. But here we go though. No, finally, Dark Shadow, which is like the most anime name ever, because shadows are dark anyway. But shadows can be different colors, like red and green, so, but they're always dark. It can be like dark red and so, but they're always dark though. Well, here we go. Yeah, they're gonna fight Dark Shadow, right? Okay, what's gonna do then? Oh, he can turn into a shadow. Yeah. Can he like merge into him then? Can he join Dark Shadow then? Would be interesting. I mean, I'm guessing so. Like, can he jump into the Dark Shadow so he can like fuse into his body? Oh, he's back already. Maybe he can take it over. And he's like, I'm poisoned by exactly. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, like he's probably jumped into him, right? It's like, he's inside of my body! But this feels like the weirdest matchup ever. This feels very like purposely a matchup that is like, this guy can turn into shadows and you have a shadow power. This is bad luck by the matchup, right? Yeah, naval laser. You can use the lighting power to make it smaller, though. Like, here we see lighting power. I mean, they know its weakness, so just. Yeah, there he is. It throws out the shadow boy out of his Dark Shadow. You can put his mercy to shadow, yeah, of course. But that's like, I think like, man, is that the worst matchup for him? The guy can turn into his shadow. Like, otherwise his powers are pretty powerful, but. And for some reason, then he can also control the shadow for the side of it. So it's like he's anti-fighter for him. His worst matchup ever. But I guess it's kind of like, I think Tokoyami was like, I'm struggling with my personal control over my shadow. I think he's gonna be like, I have trained my whole life to control my evil shadow so I can fight this thing. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I will fight you. Yeah, it's like, I accept the challenge to shadow control, you know. So I can take, yeah. I am the master of the shadow. And of course they're gonna be the eye catcher, those two guys. They will probably be the eye catcher. Those two characters, right? No, hawks. Okay, it's gonna be like I guess hawk. Hawk knows him, like the bird boys. I guess. Maybe it should be some. Maybe it should give some bit on. This might give some, you know, the Hawk betrayal thing, right? That's how Hawk is working with Dub and so on. Maybe. Yeah, because Hawk's like a douchebag. You do the paperwork, I don't work. It's the most efficient strategy. I guess it's like, yeah, he's not the best. Yeah, not the best like hero betrayed by. He's like, yeah, whatever, I do everything. You guys just pick up the trash. It's like an internship of just flying around and doing everything by himself. He's like the worst hero to be trained under. Yeah, you're too slow, yeah. Okay. You're a bird. It's gonna be your bird, right? See, you say he's gonna be a bird? I like it because we both birds, yeah. Yeah, see, I knew it. That's Hawk's character. Come on, that's how he is. Yeah, it's like, well, we're both birds, so we gotta stick together, bro. Like we're both bird bros. I hired you because we're both bird bros. Like it's purely like, come on, we're bird powers. Yeah, there's way too much recap. Way too much recap. Obviously, it's pretty powerful though, but. But now knowing the Hawks might be evil, maybe. This is a little bit, now he's like, can you tell me about the attacks you had? Yeah, this is, I feel a little bit, you know, like, if we assume the Hawk is a traitor and not actually pretending, I think he's pretending to be a traitor, but you know. But if assuming he's evil, now he's all like, oh, can you tell me about the attacks you encountered? Explain to me the strategies you used. Yeah, like he's trying to get some information, right, about the school, right? So yeah, it sounds actually pretty bad that he's trying to get this info. But I think he's just, you know, doing it for Endeavor or whatever, right, to save his life from the after that. But I guess it's gonna go faster here so he can. gotta train to be fast. Used to fly fast. Hawk is the most annoying hero to follow. Okay, now it's gonna pep talk. Here we go. It's gonna like, I'm gonna fly with you. See, bird bros. This is kind of sad. You're a bird like me, but you can't fly? Yeah, he's like, you're a bird and you can't fly, man. Like, come on, like, this is embarrassing. You gotta be able to fly, man. Exactly, it's like, you're good in the sky bow. You're a bird, man. You gotta fly. Exactly, you should fly. So of course his new power is gonna be he can fly. Yeah. The previous life he's gonna have a new secret power. I think the power is gonna be he can fly now. That feels that's gonna be the power he can fly, right? Come on, like, what else would he develop from this thing? It's like Dark Fallen Angel. But what else would he develop, right? Except flying. I mean, generally, he has more powers too, right? But he probably can fly now. You're gonna fly, man. Gonna get that bird view. this guy really looks like a bad guy. Yeah, it's like, he's like, this guy really goes off as some kind of horror enemy. Yeah, it's like, it's really nice animated now. You're kind of jumping in this 3D pipe world. Yeah, this thing is really nice, man. Sonic the Hedgehog here. And Chemical Factory, yeah, like jumping around there. Yeah, but this is great though. Oh! Yeah, she's like, that's my class, he's a bad guy, I know. Please, stop being a bad guy. See? She knows it. This guy's actually the bad guy. Yeah, invincible power. You can fly now, right? Come on, you can fly, right? Come on, it's like, come on, you can fly. Given the whole Hawks is like, you gotta fly, boy. Tokoyami can fly. New move. Like, yeah. Then Deku is like, I understand, it's open. Let me explain to you guys. Yeah, here we go. Deku's like, come on, it's a no-brainer. Deku's a douchebag, think about it. Yeah, Deku's a douchebag, he's a prick, man. It's like, come on, everyone, I can explain this thing to you all super easily. It's super simple. It's so obvious. Like, see? Deku is a douchebag, he's like, what a prick he is. What the prick he is, yeah, like, it's so obvious. How could we all seen it before? It's like... What I'm saying, man, what I'm saying. Well, here we go, yeah, you can freaking fly, man. Can you do laser shot now? Can you spin around and do laser from the sky, man? Like a disco ball? Would be awesome. Here we go, come on. Disco. It's really nice animated though. Really is this like a 3D pipe fighting thing. Why's she carrying her hand in glass for? Like, she can still see her. Like, why isn't she moving the... Oh, mushroom girl. Kick. But this guy is really evil, man. You got the evil laughter going on. Next is probably Ken versus Momo, right? And she's like, mushrooms everywhere! Yeah, okay. Yeah. Mushrooms. Like how weird freaking was standing there. But I just realized, but it's pretty obvious. Think about it. But immediately Deku is like, oh, I can explain, it's so easy. Then he even asked me, like, it's so obvious, everyone. Can't you see that? I was like, yeah, Deku is... It's quite a prick, isn't it? Like, come on, you guys can't understand how he can fly? Let me explain to you everything here. It's super easy. That we couldn't see it before, right? So it's like, but actually, in one way, they could make sense though. He could have flied earlier. Like he's just flying using his. It isn't like he really developed his powers that much to fly. Deku is right and says that he should be able to fly earlier. Actually, it wasn't like he really had to learn a new power to fly, right? He just had to like use the shadows of himself, right? Now it's more of a, I guess more of a Hawks being like, why aren't you flying for? Yeah, it's like it's more like, you know, Big Bird being like, come on, small bird, why aren't you flying for? Why aren't you using your power to fly, man? Like this, come on, fly. The last times were good. They were really well animated. It was really a nice animation when he pulled naval laser around in the pipes and so on. Yeah, the lighting effects. That was really nice. Top of the viewer, but it definitely felt super slow paced in the beginning though. So this season so far, man, it feels like half a filler, man. I guess it's gonna be Kendo versus Momo now, right, in the preview. Yeah, Mushroom Girl goes crazy, which I guess works on invincible powers. Yeah, Yasser goes. Here we go. Kendo versus second. I think it's gonna be Kendo versus Momo, right? This is the obvious next episode here. Given like how she's like, oh, remember we used to be, we were fashion girls together? Oh, I remember Kyuri, yeah. It feels like a very Momo and like a Momo definitely. And now she's all like, oh, I'm gonna show you. And I mean, especially in the end they were saying that, oh, she's way smarter than you, yeah. So next episode definitely, right? It's gonna be the girl on girl, right? Certainly. Who's the smartest? I don't know. General female skilled fighter, and also fashion girl, yeah, and also hottest fashion girl. Right? Who was the best fashion or fashion model or whatever it used to be? But it's a little bit of that. Yeah, you remember that thing? I am much better than you at that. It's like what? Like I didn't try to be good at that. To some extent, kind of like that. Certainly. But anyway, let's review the episode. Press one thing. How does it look here? That's good. But yeah, let's review the episode. Let's go back a bit. Bird Bros. It's kind of cute to pick them up, man. Yeah, we pick them up. Let's fly! So yeah, let's review the episode. My Academia episode 93, or episode 5, season 5, right? Tokoyama's episode. And Bird Bros. Yeah, so Hawk was funny as always, being the whole like, oh, come on, bro, you're gonna fly, right? Definitely, just kind of generically funny guy. Oh, I hired you with my intern because we bought birds. What else? 20% birds, like that. That's the reason, man. Birds of the feathers of the same bird, man. But the feather powers and so on. We're gonna team up, right? That's kind of funny. If it's a little weird. That he's all like, I want to learn about your school and your defense systems. Given that he might be evil. I don't think Hawk is evil. We haven't really finished that storyline right. But I think this is an episode that's kind of like a red herring where you're wondering is like, is he evil or not, right? Because he's like, oh, explain to me how this thing works at the school and so on, right? So that might be a bad thing if it's evil, right? If he assumes he actually joined the League of Villains, of course he wants to, figure out some stuff about the school and all the stuff, right? And that might be why he's doing this stuff. But I think it feels unlikely it actually is a bad guy. I think he's pretending to be a bad guy, right? He's infiltrating them. I mean, yeah, I know we saw that the state people told him to do that, but I still feel like a little bit like, because it's kind of like a triple agent thing. You're evil, then you pretend to be evil, and the good guys ask you to be evil, and maybe. I mean, I'm just saying it here, yeah, like because this scene here, this intern. This should be before he was. The thing is that this should be before he was asked by the government, right, to pretend to be evil. I think so, at least, because it's like a flashback when he was into him. It should be like a half year before something like that. I don't know exactly the timeline here. It's not really explained right, but I think this should be before the hero government asked him to pretend to be evil. So it's a little bit like, why is he having all these evil questions? Oh, can you explain to me this thing? It's a little bit fishy, but I think it's just part of his ruse, right? Or maybe this is after he was asked, but I don't think it is. I think it's actually before. But anyway, yeah, like why aren't you flying, right? Why aren't you flying? Otherwise, though, I don't think his power up was really. I mean, he can fly now. It's a bird that can fly. Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, birds should fly, right? Makes sense. But a little bit, use what Deku said though. Even though I found Deku comedically a good prick there, but it's like like you said though, it is kind of obvious. He's just lifting his body with the powers. Like it's not that doesn't feel like an overly like here here's when he's like you could just block him with his weakness. Yeah, this thing. And it's like, oh, you can just fly by, doing this thing. When you think about it, it's kind of obvious. Like they said that, sound like a douche when said that, but it is true though. He using this power in the way that he can lift himself because the Shadow House can fly, yeah. And it also increases mobility because he's not stuck with his navel, right? Because they're both moving at the same time together. It's actually quite like the most obvious power up for him, right? Yeah, let's just like fuse together, me and the bird basically. Because, I mean, otherwise, his Shadow House bird thing, yeah, it's stuck to his body. He can, of course, move away from his body, but only to some extent, right? So actually being together like this makes, kind of cloaking himself upright in that sense and flying then or whatever different ways. Yeah, it is quite obvious that Deku said like why don't I do that earlier? Why do you learn to fly now? But I guess the point is that he never really I guess, envision himself flying. His Hawks is like, why aren't you flying for? Like, why are you not flying? Why can't you see the potential of flying and so on? You gotta think, you're a bird, you gotta get in the sky, man. So, I guess it's more like Hawk said, you're lacking potential. You're not using your power, so you're fully potential because you should obviously get higher up right in the sky and so on. So, yeah, like Hawk is like, yeah, you should do it. So, more like, I don't know, a realization of his mental powers. More like a mental thing, right? More than an actual power thing. So not like it clearly becomes like quite a much better power up because he can fly, right? Anyone that can suddenly fly is pretty good. So that way it becomes a high level power up. But otherwise, he really didn't get stronger, right? Like, he didn't get much stronger. He just utilized his powers in a better way. So he's like a mental, he's got, I can fly, yeah. He's like, I see now, I can fly. A little bit like that, right? But anyway, so I can find it here. I really did like the animation was on point, though, yeah. Was the best scene of that. But that was really on point. The explanation? Oh, here we go, yeah. Here we go. Yeah, the animation was really important, I feel. This in here. This was really good. Yeah, this looked fantastic, really. Probably better than the last episode, when they were kind of like circling around the pipes, right? We see him like pulling naval laser around in the pipes, and we see them doing this like disco ball attack on him, they're lighting it up, and he's twisting around. And so, yeah, this looks really good. The last 3 or 4 minutes or so were really well animated. They did fantastic. Just like last week when they had kind of the end with Shinso fighting was really good, and Suga and the kick in and so on. Battled really amazing. This here I think it was even better. So it was really slick animation, really cool. It's clearly like CDI though when they do pipes 3D, right? But they did really good. And it reminded me of something Mappa would do, right? Kind of giving that Mappa loves to do it like circling when they're running, right? So you kind of get the feeling that's very quickly, it's very highly paced because the fight's like shoof shoof 3D view kind of thing, right? It makes the fight feel very fast, very ADI, so to speak. And so they really accomplished that. Yeah, it was really good. But yeah, think about it. Yeah, it reminds me of how Mappa does it, right? How Mappa does like in Yuzu Kaisen, where they kind of spin around the camera and so on. It really reminds me of that because that gives you that feeling that it's like, wow, this is going so fast. So it was really nice. It was really nice, and probably the best part of the episode, I think, because I think it's probably the best animation part so far in this season. Last episode had when he ran through the pipes against Shinso and a kick, which also looked really good too. But otherwise, the episode has been that good animated. But yeah, this was like definitely a standout part, right? That was all the bad stuff now though. Midnight Sensei getting all happy. Yeah, that's some good stuff. No, but where is it? Here we go. Yeah, here we go. It's a perfect sample of it. This is the perfect sample. Yeah, this is definitely the perfect sample of this thing. I was like, man, this episode, though, guys, it feels half filler, right? It feels super slow paced. So give it next episode. Next episode is clearly Momo is gonna fight, Kendo, and they're gonna have this like, best, I don't know, idol girl fighting martial art, my powers, something going on, right? This episode should have probably been Bird Boys, right? Bird Bros, Bird Boys, and then Kendo versus Momo's Kendo. That should probably be this episode. Like, because half this episode, let's be honest, half this episode, right, is just like flashback filler. Like, it's not, like, yeah, I'm disappointed. I mean, they do it again. This whole arc feels like the animation is trying to really slow pace it. It's started to feel like a One Piece episode, right? And actually, I mean, One Piece is better than Wano, but some parts of the One Piece Wanos have been. This is starting to feel like an anime now, where you're like, okay, this is supposed to be, I don't know, they do like one chapter. I haven't read the manga, right? But I guess it's like one chapter per episode kind of thing, and that's really slow. And it's too slow for an anime that is not ongoing every week, right? Like Black Clover used to do. But up to this point, right, a few years ago, One Piece and so on, right? Would actually just keep doing episodes, every week. Then you have to be eventually when you get closer to the manga, you're like, well, we gotta slow down the pace, right? But here in My Academia, episode 1, of course, being a filler episode, 100% filler, right? And then all episode 2 earlier also being a little bit like recap and filler. this episode here, the first half is pretty pointless. Like, I mean, the episode is pretty good because I liked it, what we saw. Yeah, like, this thing, right? What we got the last 10 minutes, especially the last 5 or so minutes, that's good. But what we got before that is like, oh, here's Deku, and, you know, oh, here's the Eri, here's the girl again, okay, that's sad, and here's some other flashback when Deku's fighting, and here's some flashback when they're in the forest, and here's a Kendo flashback, and here's another flashback of this character, and the way they do it, right, it's not like a prolonged flashback, but it's like, here's 10 seconds of that, here's half a minute of that, here's 3 seconds of that, and then we do see them all talking, and that also feels super fillery. What is that? Gotta find now. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, here we go. This feels like super filler too. Here we go. This feels super filler too, right? Like this thing here now, when they all talk. I mean, it's kind of funny, it was super annoying, but generally, right? These kind of scenes as well, where they just kind of like, oh, here's the classmates, and they stand here and they're talking, and this guy's super annoying, and he's gonna be with Shinso, so that makes more sense to have extra show, right? But you also see Deku talking, right? You see a lot of assets though on Alien though. You see a lot of her assets, which is good though. It's just they really develop her asset scene. But otherwise, I mean, yeah, you see all the students talking, sitting down, you know, giving some pep to each other. Bakugo is like, I don't teamwork. Screw you guys, I'm the leader. That's kind of funny. I mean, there's some jokes there, but this really feels like a filler thing, right? Because yeah, Bakugo, that's fun a little bit. This is fun a little bit, right? But generally, the first 10 minutes is like the students having like a group chat that has no actual meaning, because this is actually like, this is our strategy. They don't explain the strategy, right? I mean, you see, yeah, it's just some jokes on fan service, and it's okay, but it's not that super funny either. This is somewhat funny, but it's more like haha funny, more than, you know, negatory, you know, crying out of laughter funny, right? So I mean, I'm laughing at it, smirking at it, probably more. And then generally, and then mixing these things with them, yeah, hanging out, not really saying anything, not really being that funny, just kind of funny, and then you have, you know, flashbacks in between them. So the first 10 minutes, in my opinion, is basically filler. Like, I mean, I read the manga, but I assume the manga probably has 1 or 2 pages, right, of this. Yeah, this is probably like a manga panel, right? So certainly this is in the manga, but in the manga, you're like, look at that, bam, bam, and then you get to the next page, right? You get to the fight. So in this episode, again, yeah, it probably should have been, they could have wrapped this thing up in at least twice the speed, or like half the time, whatever, right? But probably much faster than that. And you probably could have animated both, you know, yeah, birds should fly and the Momo Kento stuff. That's probably one episode I mentioned earlier. So, I don't know, this season so far, it's, unfortunately, I feel they're going into that. I mean, it's a shonen anime, but yeah, if it's a little bit, they're going into like a weekly shonen anime, right? And as I mentioned again, when I say weekly, I'm thinking about like One Piece, right? That keeps going weekly for years without any break. So they need to be super slow paced. Or take a break, right? Or do a whole filler arc. That's usually what you do, right? In shonen anime, to keep going Bleach and so on, Naruto. You take a 10 weeks filler arc, right? To kind of get the manga, get some timing. In One Piece, they kind of stop doing that and they're just doing like super slow pace, right? Instead. But they used to do the One Piece more too. Yeah, they used to have like, you know, 20, like Navarro is like 10 episode filler arc or so on. They used to have longer filler arcs, which I prefer definitely in One Piece. I prefer if they did like much longer, filler arcs if they're gonna go weekly, right? But of course, Macadamia can't really defend that saying, "Oh, we're a shonen anime," because they're doing shonen anime, but they're doing shonen anime seasonal shonen anime, right? So they're like, we're supposed to be, you know, you're supposed to be not caring about pacing it out slowly, right? Because it really feels like they're trying to just make it as slow as possible. You know, compared to the manga, they're like, I'm guessing it's like one chapter. I guess it's one chapter per episode, and that feels really slow for a seasonal anime. But again, I mean, I'm repetitive, but I really did think the first 10 minutes here, they kind of come off as filler, yeah, more or less. I mean, not filler, but more like super slow paced 10 chapter of the manga. It's like, it's a joke for like 10 minutes. Yeah, it's like the same joke for Something like that, right? Which is a little bit like disconcerting. But anyway, that's My Academia, guys. Take a break here, and then we're gonna play more, of course, Nier Replicant. The game finally yesterday, right? We're gonna play more Nier. I'm a big fan of Nier, of course. Got my wife to there, and there's so on, right? But yeah, play the Nier, and then of course later tonight is Saturday, so we have all these animes, right? We have Nagatoro, Vivi, and so on, right? Tokyo Revengers, and eventually of course One Piece far in the end today. But yeah, Saturday is the most animes, right?